Hi! Welcome back to another video. My name's Zendaya. I am a crocheter and cosplayer. A lot of you have probably already seen stuff like my Crochet Gengar cosplay, but my actual favorite Pokemon, the best, the cutest Pokemon ever, number one on the field and number one in your hearts, Bulbasaur. I love that little guy. My first ever Pokemon was Leaf Green, and he was my starter, and ever since then, baby, me and Twin been locked in. So, what we will be doing today, I have a Bulbasaur cosplay that I have had for about a year now. Originally, when I made it, it was a little bit rushed. I already had the idea for Bulbasaur, but then I got the opportunity to be in a Pokemon themed drag show. On top of my Gengar cosplay, I kind of had to throw Bulbasaur together last minute so I could do that for a number. So the build isn't exactly what I wanted and what I pictured, but today, we are going to fix that. My original idea was kind of like a baby punk, like Jinginka, how you pronounce it? Gijinka? Gijinka? I'm not sure on the exact pronunciation, but original idea was for kind of like a baby punk, like schoolgirl type feel, since Bulbasaur is like the lowest evolution, and then I do like low-key have plans for like the other evolutions, but like we'll get to that. That was kind of like my jumping off point, and I kind of got that together to the best of my abilities, but now I want to move to a more like aesthetic direction, if that makes sense. So the majority part of this video is going to be making a new crochet bag for Bulbasaur. This is the initial bag that I had. I do like how it goes with the cosplay aesthetically. I do think it portrays the bulb on his back very accurately. And then it also works like pretty okay as a bag. I just think that like we can do something a little more, you know? I think we can really pussify her if we like put our heart and soul into it. Let me show you guys what we have going so far. All right, so original plan doesn't look like much, but stay with me. Give me a second to explain. This is the kind of the rough idea that we have going for us right now. So what I'm thinking is on the sides, we can do some sort of like tapestry work to kind of have this pixel art to go off of. So I'm thinking something like that added onto the side panels. Let me explain how we're building this. So my base idea is for it to be like a fairly structured backpack. So the best way for me to do that is going to be to work it up in panels instead of just in the round. And that way I can crochet them all along the border and hopefully keep a little sturdy that way. And then in the bottom, I'm gonna make another panel piece that's the same size as the bottom and glue it to a piece of interfacing. And I think once we stick that inside, that will hold it open and kind of act as a very secure bottom to the bag. I'm thinking we can use some tapestry work to do some designs on the side and the front. This top part, I kind of just want to do a big ass leaf. That's kind of just the idea. Is I'm gonna make a big ass leaf, add some details as I can, and then we're gonna use that as like the top flap. On the inside top part, I do still want it to like cinch at the top, so I need to figure out patterns that look okay with the way that they hang down. I think most of it is going to be something like this, just kind of like leaf decals down the sides. I also kind of want to do something fun with the straps. I was going to make it like a little looser fit, like how the last bag was, get like a little more secure than that. And then I'm going to work on some other decal designs, make up some templates, see what we have, what we're working with, and then once I make some decisions, I'll get back to you. So quick little update. We've just got the base. I do think we're gonna go with the original tapestry work that I just showed you guys earlier. Considering the dimensions, I'm realizing it's not gonna be that big. I don't know. I kind of like this work for the sides. If I think of something different, then we'll start over. But I think I'll just get started on these now and then see if I like them or not. I don't know. We're gonna think some things through. So it is the next day, and we have finished the 2 side panels for the bag. These look really good on camera. In person, up close, it's like one of those that like looks kind of rough, but like once you back away, That's good detail right there. We live. So far we just have the bottom and the two sides. Originally I was gonna try to put a design on the front to, one, make it more interesting, but two, also just save on yarn. The yarn that I'm using for this project, this is the only skein that I have of this color. And that's gonna be the base color for the entire bag. And I am worried about running out. I do think most of the front is gonna get covered up by the leaf flap and then the front pocket that I wanna put on. I'm thinking I can get away with making the front panel entirely out of this. Not sure about also making the back panel. I'm just always so bad at guesstimating how much yarn I need, and then I either playing yarn chicken or ending up with just under enough. I don't know, I am worried, but I do think for today we're gonna get started on the front at least, and then check back in and see how much yarn we have. If we have to pivot, we can. So, it's later that night. I finished the front panel and I have more yarn than I thought. However, I did make a grave mistake. I forgot that I also have to make the straps for the book bag. And I'm also gonna use this color for it. Thinking about making the back out of one of these. I think I'm gonna get working on the straps, maybe the bottom inner of the bag as well to give me more time to think on it. We have options. I just don't know what's gonna get us farther, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll be back. Guys, while thinking over some things, I was blessed with a vision. We finished up the rest of the plan. So what we're thinking here, Pokeballs on the end of the strings. We're gonna do the straps in that lighter color green, and then the front pocket and mesh pockets are gonna be those as well. Off camera, I went ahead and just finished up the ones that are like really basic panels. We have the front panel, the back panel, the two side panels, the bottom of the bag, the inner bottom, the pieces for the front pocket, and then two straps. So for the editor, can we get a nail on there? For the leaf flap, I actually went and made some pixel art of I believe it's Dieffenbachia, and I took that over to Stitch Fiddle, and we are now currently working with something like this. Like when you really zoom out, like I do think it really looks like, I mean, you can't see that on there, but it looks pretty convincing on camera. In person, I was kind of worried, but now that I see it on camera, I'm not as scared as I was before. I got started on that off camera. I do think the colorways are coming together pretty well. I'm liking how it's looking so far, but then again, you know, there's so much time for my opinion to change. The last things that I really have to do before we can start constructing the bag, I have to make the mesh pocket. I kind of have an idea on how I'm gonna do that. I've done like some meshwork stuff before, so I'll probably just have to like tap in and unlock that again. Once we do that, then I'm pretty sure we can get started on constructing the bag at least. I'll see you guys then. All right, we got the mesh pocket. Now all that's left to do is work on the leaf. I am a little nervous though, because the color that's used the most is going to be the dark green, and this is how much we have left. We'll definitely be playing yarn chicken, but see who comes out on top. Okay, so we're about 2/3 up the way the pattern, and guys, I've never been this fucking scared in my life. I'm getting real fucking nervous, y'all. I feel like we can make it work. It's gonna be a close call, if anything, but you know, pray for me. She was a fairy. All right, y'all, so unfortunately, we did lose yarn chicken. It's a sad, sad day, truly. But we came up with some sort of solution. I looked up references for like a burnt leaf, and I used that blue to kind of make the end look like it's been singed a little bit. The story is now, Charmander is a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my wife. He pissed on my fucking wife. And then he said his dick is this big, and I said, that's disgusting. No, but seriously. Charmander's a bitch-ass motherfucker, got his tail too close to my bag, and singed the fuck out of my leaf. So I'm mad at that hoe right now, and we are no longer friends. This is a call-out post. Fuck you, Charmander, and fuck Gary too. Besides that, we now have all of the parts finished for our bag, so it is time to start assembling, shall we? I'm gonna get that stuff laid out and then explain to y'all what we plan to do a little bit. All right, so this is the general setup that we are working with. All we have left to do is to sew on the front pocket to the front panel and then the mesh pocket, and then we will be ready to put those all together. The mesh pocket, I might wait until after we put the whole bag together to put that on, just because I think it'll make construction for the whole thing a little easier. So let's get to that, shall we? All right, y'all, the bag is coming together quite nicely. We ran into a couple roadblocks, but I think we got them mostly squared away. I had progress shots of putting the Pokeballs on. I was working on it really late and I did not realize the Pokeballs looked like absolute fucking garbage. I went over them and kind of embroidered the detail a little better just to make them look a little more correct, so I think they look a lot better now, for sure. The other issue we're running into is I tried to make the inner bottom. Yeah, so like I don't really think that's gonna, well, yeah, it doesn't do the job as well as I need it to. I'm thinking of trying cardboard instead. I think that will be sturdier, but I feel like that'll like just end up breaking. Fiddling around with that idea, and I honestly might try both, but the interfacing bottom didn't work, so if cardboard doesn't work, then we're gonna have a saggy bottom situation, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. shit, at the end of the day, we do what we gotta do. All that's really left is the straps on the back, and then I also made like a little handle for like easy carrying. I don't know, we're gonna have to sew it like right into the leaf though, and I don't know if I want to do that because that's just kind of like fucking up all the detail work in it, but I don't know. We're looking into it. All right, so I originally had shots of putting the straps on, but I literally have no idea what they are. I looked through all my storage, I looked through my trash folders, and I cannot find this footage absolutely anywhere. So the straps do get put on somehow. You guys just won't be seeing that. But anyway, look over there! Hey, you guys! Y'all, we fucking did it. Y'all. Oh, look at that shit. See that? That bag? Ooh. Ooh, don't hurt him now. Hey. Whoa. So happy with the way all of this turned out. The only new wearable that I have is this little ditty right here. This is the Adina top by Mrs. Moonheaven. It turned out so well, you guys. I used I believe it's the Loops and Thread Impeccable yarn in the color Skylight. Ooh. I love the colors. I love the way that they work together. And then this bag is just such a nice addition. And I just truly think that it's a lot more like visually stimulating and like brings the whole look together for sure now. It's just so much more eye-catching than my last bag, and I am just so happy with how it turned out. The other great thing about this cosplay is it's a perfect summer one because it has a reveal. Ow, get into that. And then the underwear that I have on matches too, but y'all can't see that. Y'all can't see that on here. Not on YouTube at least. I think that's everything that I wanted to go over, so thank you guys so much for watching another video. If you liked it, please make sure to like and subscribe. That'll help me out a lot. Make sure to follow my social media on Instagram and TikTok to see all of the other content that I make with Bulbasaur. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Bye!